Yeah, we're back. Excuse me. Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in? Miracles, I guess, still happen now and then. Look into my heart. Leave your cares behind. Welcome to my world, built with you in mind. Knock and the door shall be open. Seek and you will find. Ask and you will be given the key to this heart of mine. I'll be waiting there with my arms unfurled, waiting just for you. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. That's right, welcome to my world. The world of the Songfather. Let me turn down this AC a little bit because it's loud. There you go. And on the Songfather Show on this 12th day of August. 12th day, 12th. Almost 2 weeks old already. And I'm looking over here. Yankees are up 8-3. Top of the 8th inning, so looks like it's going to be another rout over Baltimore. And hope everybody had a nice weekend. We lost 2, but we won 1 up in Toronto. But I hope everybody had a nice weekend. The weather was pretty damn good. And a lot of crazy things happening over this weekend. And we'll go over a couple of them. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on all the different variables to one particular story. So tonight's songs are going to be for DADDIO, because he is, as much as he was a big gigantic fan of Francis Albert and and et al, Dino and everybody else down the line, but he was still is a big Doo Wop fan. So tonight we're going to do Doo Wop songs for DADDIO. Okay. And then we can get to some of these news stories. Tino says hello. He's over there. I don't know what he's doing now. He's lost his freaking bird mind. He's hanging pieces of paper towels like drapes all over the place. It's just, whatever. Hey, whatever floats your boat, So, let's get to a couple of stories, and we'll get to our first song of the evening. And the Ohio shooter that went in with the AR-15 and ended up, like if you remember, I said he went there with his sister and a friend, parked the truck, went inside, then, I'll be right back, went back, got all his stuff and came back in and started shooting people. Well, one of the people that was killed was his sister, and now the news reports say, well, it wasn't really his sister, it was a transgender man. I don't know what it has anything to do with what this jerk did, but I don't know, unless there's a tie-in to that somewhere, but I don't know. But crazy. So I'm going to skip over it for now. Everybody knows. I know you're waiting for it. That's why you're going to wait. So on the 10th, which was Saturday, was the, I hate to say anniversary, but it was... it wasn't a bad thing. What he did before that was a bad thing. So it was the anniversary of the arrest of David Berkowitz, the son of Sam Killer, that was taking orders from the next door neighbor. The dog's name was Sam. That boy's way out there. Very well. My father did a movie called Out of the Darkness, and it was all about not so much the son of Sam. I mean, it was a major part of it, but it was about Eddie Zigo, the lead detective that is the one that ended up, capturing him and taking him in, and while going through a hell of a lot of unbelievable personal things of his own, almost quitting the force and everything else, while his wife died unexpectedly. For a very simple surgery. All the doctors had promised that she's going to come out of this okay, and his wife didn't. And he was almost on the verge of doing it himself. And he took advice from a very close friend of the family's that was a priest, and they brought him through it, and he got back on the case. And through some diligence and a little luck, they brought him in. And Eddie Zigo was a very good friend of the family's, and he's the one that did it. So that's what DADDIO always did. He always told the true story, but he always took care of the person that needed to be getting a little pat on the back. So very nice. So, yeah, I remember that very well when it was going on. We used to bounce at a couple of places like Eliphas and everything in Queens, and then come out to the island of Long, opened on Hempstead Turnpike, and we were staying out of Brooklyn and Queens, And, oh my God, what the hell's the other place? Pastels. And we just forget it. We're not going there. We're going to stay there on the island. And, it was pretty scary times because there was no rhyme or reason to what he was doing, And even he can't explain it. He just got his orders from the dog. Okay. But long time ago. So over in Las Vegas, a man was arrested for planning to bomb a couple of synagogues. I don't know where they're coming from, but they were all in the age bracket of 19 to 30. Every one of them. Every one of them. And 30's pushing it. It's really like 19 to 26, something like that. All in the age bracket. I don't know what they were brought up on. I don't know if they, spent too much time alone, both parents working. Statistics say that most of the time there wasn't a father involved in their life. I don't know. But thank God the police out there in Las Vegas, went on a couple of tips, and boom, they got this guy before any damage could be done. So thank God for him. And if you remember last week, or the week before, I told you about the two pilots that were about to get on United Airlines. And I went on my little rant about they should have those things that they have for cars if you get a DWI and you need to go to work, or you're a caretaker or whatever it might be. So you have to blow into this thing before the car will start. And I said it should be put in the cockpit. The pilot, co-pilot, and the navigator all should have to blow into this thing before the plane could be. And I still think it's a great idea. Now they had a stewardess that was on, and she could barely stand. And when she was going through when they go through the safety thing, and this drops down, slurring the words, couldn't stand up, ended up sleeping for the whole flight, and she blew a .024, which is more than 3 times the legal limit, and so she's gotten fired. But it's not unless they're drinking somewhere we don't know about, unless they're drinking in their private area. But if they're drinking out in the walkway, somebody's got to see them. It's crazy. It's just not that she doesn't fly the plane, but there's a lot of things that could have happened. She could have passed out. She could have hurt somebody. Not to mention you're getting paid for the safety and the comfort of the people that are sitting in the seats in front of you. So, what are you going to do? And so let me just throw this Biden thing out here, and then we'll get to the first song. Okay? And yes, I know. Yes. Mr. President Trump has said a ton of ridiculous faux pas. But I told you what he said the other day, that poor children are just as smart as white children. Let that sink in? Okay. So what does he come out and say now? He says, I want everybody to understand, I want everybody to know that I love all races, even the bad ones. Oh, man, oh, Chevitz, what a wine. Remember that commercial? Oh, yeah, got to get rid of the lunatics. I mean, it's nice. That's what's good about America. You know, anybody can run for office. Anybody could run for this and blah, blah, blah. But these knuckleheads, are you kidding me? De Blasio, blah, blah, Blasio, was, I didn't write down where he was. Imagine that. It was in the Midwest somewhere, I think. But on his, his campaign trail. His wife has misplaced billions of dollars, and he's going all over the country. Like it's nothing. There was 15 people at his last speech that he gave on his campaign trail. 15 people. But airfare, hotels, bodyguards, and everything else. I think maybe we know where the money's going. Maybe we don't. So this first song tonight is by the Mellow Kings, and it's called Tonight. Hey, there's Cece. Sorry. And always been one of my favorites. And they're saying the Mellow Kings are saying the song more than any time before. I could feel at this heart of mine, I couldn't love you anymore. Please say you'll be mine forever. Please. Please, won't you do it? Tonight, I'm holding you so near. Tonight, what I'd give if I could hear those three little words that would thrill the heart of me. Just whisper, I love you, and will eternally. Tonight, more than any time before. This heart of mine didn't need you so much more. The touch of your lips, the thrill of your embrace. Keep saying that no one could ever take your place. While looking up afar, I wished upon a star and prayed for a blessing from above. Well, if my wish should come true, until our life is through, I'll have you here to have, to hold, and to love. Well, tonight may never reach an end. I'll miss you so till you're in my arms again. With all of my heart, I declare with all my might, I love you forever as I love you tonight.
Love you tonight.
Tonight, more than any time before. This heart of mine couldn't need you so much more. With all of my heart, I declare with all my might, I love you forever as I love you tonight. Bring. Tonight. Why am I talking like the, whatever that guy's name was in Snow, Rudolph? Is that what his name was? No. Maybe, I don't know. The Heat Mountains, whatever. But that's what he sounded like. So, yeah, I always loved that song. Tonight. Just say I love you right now. Do it. Say it. So, okay, so we went over to stewardess. This I find completely mind-boggling to me, that Uber and Lyft, which is the alter ego of Uber, came out with their earnings. And Uber is showing a $5 billion loss in revenue. $5 billion. Billion. Wow. And Lyft is the hero, the winner of the competition. They're only losing $44 million in revenue this year. And they're blaming it on some of the bad news that had happened. Bad news. Those are their words, not mine. There was rapes, there was murders, there was assault and battery, and a whole bunch of other stupid stuff going on. And guys with phony licenses and no due diligence done on their part. Wow. But 5 billion. Holy moly. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So let's get a smiley one in here. He's a 5-year-old child in Sanford, Florida. Got the 911 got a call, and he said he was hungry. He was very, very hungry, and he would like a pizza. So, of course, the 911 dispatches a cop there anyway, just to make sure everything's okay. And they go to the house and knock on the door, and one in the front, one in the back. And the 16-year-old sister, who was babysitting her brother, answers the door, and her eyes are like bugging out of her head. Everything all right? We got a call from somebody here in the house that's very hungry and wants pizza. And she goes, oh, my God, it's got to be my brother. I'm sorry. I didn't know him. So they go in, they sit him down, they have a long talk with him about what 911 is for, and you can't use it to order pizza and this and that. And do you understand? And he said, yeah. And so they went back out to their car. They called to have a pizza made, and then they went and picked it up and delivered it to the house. And then wanted everybody within sounding voice and reading eyes of the paper to understand that they're not going to make a habit out of this. But they didn't charge him for the pizza, and they brought the pizza back. But, I just, she's probably had her headphones on or whatever, and he's like, well, I'm hungry. And she's like, yeah, I'll make you something later, You know how brothers and sisters are. So he said, down with this. Called 911. I'm very hungry. I want a pizza. So, and the cops handled it good, too. I like that. Okay, what else here? A woman in Tobay Beach, which is out here on the island of Long, in the county of Nassau. And, I think. Yeah. And she was down at the beach and, doing her thing. And all of a sudden she looked and she realized her wedding ring was gone. In a panic, yelling on everybody coming over, or, helping dig in the sand where she was sitting and walking. And so she's a friggin' nervous wreck. And so she puts it with her phone. She puts it on, I guess, on the way home or whatever she was doing. But she puts it on Facebook, on one of those forums. I guess there's a forum where you could post things that are lost. And somebody read it and has a metal detector. A woman got in her car, drove all the way from Farmingdale over to Tobay. When I say all the way, it's a nice hike, especially, for this reason. And went down to the beach and just started walking around. And took about a half hour to an hour, and beep, 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 beep. But all of a sudden, things started going crazy. And slowly, with her fingers, she's sifting the sand away, and she finds the ring. Are you kidding me or what? She screams out the top of her lungs, I found it. Everybody's all excited. They get the address of the woman. She also lived in Farmingdale. Drove it over, hand-delivered it to her. There's a feel-good story, huh? Wow. I mean, I guess she, maybe in the winter or at night when it goes, gets sundown. I don't know, or very early in the morning, she goes with the thing and, with the metal detector, and who knows what she finds. But, man, she knew what she was doing. Holy moly. So, so good story. So, and then they said, we're going to remain friends now and keep in touch. Okay, yeah, okay. Shh, don't say nothing. And over the weekend was 5 years since Robin Williams passed away. I'll leave it at that. And I just want to thank everybody that not only made nice comments on the video that I had put together, which is up on YouTube when he passed away, my own little tribute to him, but so many people shared it. And it got a lot of hits, and it's just amazing how everybody is of the same thought when it comes to that. How here's a guy, and I've said it my whole life. Like I told you when I sang that song, "Everybody Loves a Clown." That's been my theme song, because I'm a funny guy. Let's just put it that way. Especially when I'm out and hanging out and with family and friends and everything else. And, I just really enjoy making people laugh, and life is hard enough. But then people come to expect that you got to be that way 24 hours a day. And it's not fair. I am not putting myself in Robin Williams' category at all. I'm just saying I have the same mindset, and nobody sees when I got my head up my ass, and nobody sees that when I'm wiping tears away from my eyes, like the same thing with him. And to be honest with you, I know what he went through, because nobody wants to hear it either. When you want to unload on somebody, it's like, ooh, they don't want to hear that. They want to unload on you, or they don't want to make you, They want you to make them laugh, and so they can forget their own problems. And more often than not, the people that are doing that for everybody, they got nobody to sound off of, So it was very sad. I always said that it was going to happen. I really thought years and years ago that Jonathan Winters was going to do that, and because he was just another one that was too on all the time, too on. And then, if you ever saw him on talk shows, same with Robin Williams, if he wants to start talking about things, they don't want to hear it really. It's like, oh really? So then he's got to go into his, his little spiel, so anyway, it's 5 years already. Can't believe that. It's a very, very sad time for the world, because he touched everybody's lives in the world, in his movies and everything else, So, okay, I will save a couple of these feel-good stories. This next song here was requested by my good friend, Mr. Bill Herod. We met when we were with A&P. He was down in New Orleans, and went down there a few times. And then through my promotions, I got to go down there a little bit more and spend some time with him. And he's just a real, real good guy. And he lost his wife several years ago. But the first time I was down there, they were inviting me over for dinner. And you're Italian. We're going to make you some nice. My wife's going to make you some nice pasta and ragu. What? Yeah, pasta and ragu. Now, some people call sauce or gravy, they call it ragu. Okay, especially down in the South. Okay. Now I go. Now when you say ragu, it's like we sell in the supermarkets. Ragu is like, wow. So it was always a nice ball busting thing on my part every time. I recall or say hello, or we get to go to meetings together and conventions or whatever the hell you want to call them. We say, how's the ragu and everything, say hello to Mrs. Ragu for me. But he wanted to hear the song. He requested it, so I do it for him. Billy Herod, here you go, who's now in Chicago. Anyway, tequila. Good pick. Tequila. Tequila! Nice pick, Billy boy. He not only picked it, he dared me to do it. I mean, what do I do? What do I have? 3 lines in the whole song? But I know he'll be wearing his Depends when he sees this song. Not that he wears Depends. No. All right, here's something that is long overdue. I don't want to sound like an old fart, but it's long overdue because I'll just tell you the story. A 17-year-old was at a house party. A lot of kids were there. Parents were home. Who knows how many were there, but and she had way too much to drink, and she ended up sleeping over. She got up around 6 o'clock. She woke up, grabbed herself together, and jumped outside and got in her car and took off. So, maybe she wasn't allowed to sleep over. Maybe she was going to get in trouble. Maybe we was supposed to be home by 6 so somebody could go to... I don't know. But she was still, really drunk. So she jumped in the car and then she took off and she ran over a mailbox, knocked that down, ran across somebody's lawn, and then bounced off the curb and then ran down an 80-year-old man who was walking down the street and who's in the hospital now, or a woman. Make sure I get it right. See, this is my brain lately. 80-year-old, that's all I put. But man or woman, whichever one it is in critical condition over in the hospital. And this happened out here on the island of Long in Suffolk County. And then she left the scene, left the person laying there right in the middle of the street. And kept on just driving, and then finally they pulled somewhere and they found her. The cops found her, and you see the whole windshield is smashed in from like where the person, or hoping it's the mailbox, but it looks like it was the person smashed into the windshield and went down. So of course she was locked up for DWI and aggravated vehicular assault and leaving the scene of an accident. But they went back and they arrested the man whose house it was. And what's funny is, that's all they say in the news. So, you know me, you know my mind, you know how it works. But I'm saying they didn't say the father of a friend of hers. They didn't say an uncle. They just said the man whose house it was. So, that immediately throws my antennas up in the air. And they went and they locked him up for underserving age-wise, but overserving alcohol. The girl was only 17 years old, so she shouldn't have been drinking anyway. Where are the parents? I have no idea. Did the parents ask who's going to be there? Whose party is it? I don't know. I really have no clue. But, as of right now, because of the stupidity, 3 people's lives are ruined, if not more, but especially the 80-year-old that may not pull through. It's just, it doesn't pay to be the pal. It doesn't pay to say, yeah, don't worry about it. When I was your age, we were allowed to drink by 18. I was working in a bar. It doesn't matter. So was I. I was working as a bartender before I was 16 years old. That was that back then. I told you the story once, the air conditioning broke, so we took the tables and chairs and put them on the island in the middle of the Hempstead Turnpike. And the bartender was coming out and bringing our drinks back and forth. You couldn't do that now. First of all, there's way too many people. The cars are too much faster. And it's just, it's not smart. It's just not a smart thing to do. And if you're throwing a party at your house and you're having underage children there, okay, and you are not related to any of them, you need to be smacked anyway. But so let's say prayers for everybody involved in that, and especially the one in the hospital. And hopefully that works out okay. And here's a feel-good story. A man spent 30 years in jail, accused of assault and rape, and ended up being cleared on DNA. And I've always said it 100 times. I know we want to put the bad people away, but it's like 60% of eyewitnesses are true. When I say true, turn out to be true. They're not reliable. 40% are totally unreliable. He's a man that spent 30 years in jail for a crime he didn't commit. And so everybody's making a big deal, like patting themselves on the back. He got a lawsuit, and they gave him $9 million, actually $9.6 million, to make up for all this time. You can't make up for 30 years. 30 years sitting in a prison dealing with the vial and this and that and the fights and the fear and all the other stuff that goes on there, missing birthday parties and missing the air and the Yankee games or whatever it's got, all the little things and barbecues that we take for granted, in life. this man missed out on for 30 years and he did nothing wrong. Just going off the identification, yeah, that was him. That's the man I did. You know, you want to say, okay, but, and there's got to be some kind of a law. There's got to be some kind of a percentage somewhere that before somebody is really put away, when there's no evidence, when they weren't caught in the act of doing anything, and weren't caught on video or by fingerprints or anything like that, that if you don't have DNA, then there's got to be a different charge. You know, or there's got to be a different place to go because, you know, to be sent to a regular, you know, prison for 30 years, I'm sure this guy's got a ton of stories that he could tell. So, you know, $10 million, is that going to be, yeah, that's going to help him. That's going to help him, you know, relax a little bit and have life a little bit easy. But that's not making up for 30 years of his freedom. I'm sorry. Terrible. And we saved that because, okay. All right, so do you like that Billy Herod song, Tequila? What did I say, 3 times? Dirty Rotten. What are you going to request next? Wipeout? Don't you dare. All right, so this next song, this beautiful song by the Crests. You know, and I forgot to tell you, too, the Champs, who did Tequila, Glenn Campbell was a part of that. Oh, that's correct. So this next song by the Crests, Johnny Maestro. That's right. A lot of people didn't know that either, which I couldn't understand. But was the lead singer for the Crests, and then he went out and formed the Brooklyn Bridge, and then it was just Johnny Maestro. And I remember my mother, my sister Donna was getting married, and my father had arranged to have Johnny Maestro be the band for the wedding. Wow, are you kidding me? Oh, you've heard of him? I said, yeah, of course. It's Johnny Maestro. What are you kidding? You know, 16 Candles, the worst that could happen to me. This song here, Step by Step. There's just a ton of them. And my mother wouldn't allow it. She says, no. My father said, what do you mean, no? It's Johnny Maestro. Going to have the best music, the best band that you ever had, this and that. No. You're not having anybody there that's going to take the day away from my daughter. It's her day. Now we kind of looking at each other like she got a point there, you know. But you know, we'll flash pictures of her, you know, up on the wall and stuff while he's singing it. So no Johnny Maestro. And years and years later, supposed to perform somewhere for a friend of mine, and he decides he's going to back out because he got a better offer. It doesn't fly. So I get a call. Sonny, take a ride with me. Okay. Get in the car. He goes, I'll be buying whatever it was, 10 minutes. Get in the car and we go. Where we go? Well, we're going to the diner. We're going to the airport diner in Bohemia. Okay. And we go in there and boom, sit down. And who's in there? Johnny Maestro. One of his pals, and me and my pal. Sit down. Want coffee? No. You want coffee? No. This is the waitress. Do you want coffee? To my friend. No. She goes, I know you don't want coffee. Fuck yeah, give me coffee. Well, brings the coffee over, and then they start, and they're back and forth, and you know, testosterone is bouncing off the walls and the floors, and I don't care this and that, da. I never said I was going to sing there to you. I said, I'm going to see if the date was open, but then I got offered to sing here, and it's for a hell of a lot more money, and then I was asked to step outside and have a cigarette and bring Johnny Maestro's friend with him. All right, let's go. He looks, and Johnny said, all right. I said, let's go. We go outside. We have a cigarette. Knock on the window. We come back in. Waitress comes over, brings me my coffee. Anybody want coffee? My friend says, yeah, I'll have a coffee. Johnny Maestro and his friend say, no, we're okay. And then they get up and leave. I'm like, what was that all about? It was nothing. You know, the party that we're having in a couple of weeks. Well, you're supposed to sing there. I said, and he'll be singing there. I was like, oh, my God. Imagine if he was at my sister's wedding, and then I said, next time, tell me where I'm going, so I put on a blonde wig or something. But anyway, this next song has always been one of my favorites, Step by Step. very special song to me in my life growing up. And step by step, I fell in love with you. Take it.
Step, 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 step.
Step by step, I fell in love with you, and step by step, it wasn't hard to do. Kiss by kiss and hand in hand, that's the way it all began. Soon we found the perfect plan for love. Side by side, we took a lover's walk, and word by word, we had a lover's talk. One word led to another, and then in no time we're up to 10. My heart knew we were gonna end in love. A sweet hello, my heart's aglow. We had a date, stayed out late, I walked you home. We were all alone. 7th step, we took a chance. One kiss and true romance. Step by step, we climbed through heaven's door. And step by step, each thrill invited more. Then you promised faithfully, oh, your love belonged to me. Now I know we'll always be in love. A sweet hello, my heart's aglow. We had a date, stayed out late, I walked you home. We're all alone. 7th step, we took a chance. One kiss and true romance. Step by step, we climbed through heaven's door. And step by step, each thrill invited more. Then you promised faithfully, oh, your love belonged to me. Now I know we'll always be in love. Bam! What a song. Step by step. That's all it takes. That's all it takes is a step. There was a song by the Five Satins called Down the Aisle. I love that song. I don't think I'll do that one next Doo Wop show because I love that. That was on our jukebox we had in the basement. That my father found on the way home. It was just sitting on the side of the road. How lucky was that? And so I said the Five Satins because my favorite song just about in the world was, and probably still is right up there in the top 5 to still of the night. And actually at my friend Freddie's wedding, he wanted me to sing a song, and he goes, but 2 things you're not allowed to sing. Number 1 is Mac the Knife, because you've sang at everybody else's wedding, and you're not going to do the same thing here. And Jeremiah was a bullfrog. He hated that song. So, of course, for $20, what do you think I had the band do during dinner? They played it 5 times in a row. He was ready to rip his hair out of his head. So I got up and I sang In the Still of the Night. And he got up there with his wife, and they just loved the song. And so, yeah, it's always been a special song. But on the jukebox, when I saw Five Satins, pushed the button, and that song came up. While each step brings you closer to the aisle. Oh, what a great song. And I think it was, you've all heard me talk about Bella for years and upon years. But the first time we went out, really went out, Mickey B, I hope everybody knows who Mickey B is. He's the Prince of Rock and Roll. They got me tickets to go, on the arm. And so we went out, had a little something to eat and drinks, and then went over to the Patchogue Theater and went in. These seats were all the way in the back. I mean, last row, not even up high. It was like, no, this ain't going to fly. And so I went up and, did what I had to do. And we watched the rest of the show from backstage, which was terrific. Got to have my picture taken and hang out with Vito and the salutations. But I didn't know, it was a last-minute addition to the show, that the Five Satins were going to come out. And they came out and did both songs. It was like, that was a night of all nights. Oh, the night it really was such a night. Shut up. Okay, so let's see. The Tobey with this ransom bat's going to be Robin Williams, 30 years in jail. Right out here on the island of Long, within the whole state of New York. The New York Firefighter of the Year is from Melville, New York. Nice man, He also works as a mounted police officer on NYPD, but he was off duty coming home one day, and a car had got into an accident and flipped over and was on flames. And this is what they do, without thinking. Just boom, got the kid out of the person out of the car. Before the whole thing just went up in flames. And so he was awarded over the weekend the New York State Firefighter of the Year. Man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I'm sure the police are going to do something for him too. So, and what do we got? 2 to go? Okay. In Pennsylvania, a bride whose father passed away 10 years before, her wedding, which was this year, so 10 years ago. And he was an organ donor like I am. I was a piano donor, but I lost it. So, but I'm pumped. There you go. And the man that got her father's heart, I don't know if you read about this, they got a hold of him, and he came and walked her down the aisle. Her father's heart was in another man, but not just symbolically. He was there to walk her down the aisle and in some way share in her wedding day. And a lot of people, I was surprised, were like, yeah, I don't know if I like that story. When they put those forums up, the newspapers put it up online, and then you can comment underneath. And I was like, oh, wow, I was very surprised. I thought it was a great story. That's what being an organ donor is all about. Giving somebody a chance to see again, or hear again, or speak again, live again with a heart, or a kidney. I mean, that's what the whole program is for. So not only did this guy live at least 10 years after receiving the heart, he was able to come and share in that day, that special day when she's getting married, with her father's heart inside his body pumping away. And man, I get goosebumps thinking about it. I thought it's a great story. And anybody who doesn't, and for the first time ever, there's a special needs drum corps that is going to compete in the World Championship. Drum corps. They have the cheerleading ones, they have this and that. Well, there's also, and it's very big. There's, big time scholarships that go with this, to colleges. And it's a worldwide championship kind of thing. And everybody goes and, they march and do all kinds of drums and turn and precision and everything else. And that this whole drill team is made up of special needs boys and girls, men and women, whatever. See, I still give good stories. And all right, we'll wait for that because that's too hysterical. And we'll wait for that. All right, so let's get to this next one here, because this song goes out to my friend. You heard me talk about him before, Joe Pitty, who is just about getting over pneumonia after a week. And that's the fourth friend of mine, not to include, also including my sister. But that was, knocked on their ass with this pneumonia thing that's going around. And almost every one of them ends up in the hospital. So I guess I won't get it because, the Sambuca and the Frangelica, as soon as that bug gets in my body, it just dies. It's great. But, yeah, so that's true. And so you got to be careful out there, everybody. It's the air conditioning. Run your system down. You're in the air conditioning, then you're out in the heat, and then you're sweating and this and that. Just, go nice and easy. And I think all this heat this year has done something to the lakes, and not the big gigantic lakes with, almost ocean currents. I'm talking about, standing still lakes, ponds, and stuff like that. So many dogs I've read about lately that, they're mommies and daddies, whatever we call them. Takes them down there, and they're having fun, and they like to jump in the water, and they're all kicking off as soon as they come out. And there's something to do with the algae in there. Now they're saying to the dog, don't even take your dogs to walk down there because it gets in their paws and it eats away at the padding. And oh, Jesus Christ! I mean, excuse me, God. But it's the flesh-eating diseases. It's really crazy out of control. Legionnaire's disease now down in Atlanta. 63 people are dead from Legionnaire, or I think that's what they said, or came down with it. I don't know. Look that one up yourself. But it's 63 people down in Atlanta, and that hasn't been around in how many years with that kind of number, and so once the spring is the spring, once the fall comes and then the winter, I know everybody is not looking forward to it, but at least all these spores or whatever the hell it is out there are going to freeze and die, and hopefully that'll take care of that. How I got off on that subject, I have no clue. But say a prayer. Keep your eyes open for that. I'm sure that somewhere it's going to be on ESPN or something, and let's root them on. Not only because they're from the United States of America, because they are the special needs people. I always said it from the very first time I met one. I always believed that they are the closest thing to angels that walk on this planet. They are just loving and caring and giving and trusting and everything that we're supposed to be. They are. So, good luck. Good luck to them. Okay, so, that's how I got on the subject. So, Joe Brooklyn was down. I sent him one of my WTFs that I'm very good for sending to people that don't call me, even though I didn't call them. But one night we were out. Who knows where we were going? I think we were coming back from Monmouth Racetrack, or who knows what we were doing. But we were feeling pretty okay. And yes, I know we shouldn't have been driving, but back then there was nobody on the road. It was a Model T Ford, and so it was okay. But this song came on by the Moonglows. Sincerely, the McGuire sisters did it, way before I was born. And it starts with bottle, bottle, bottle. And he says, you know what that sounds like? I'm like, no, I don't know what. There's a guy standing with a bottle, and he just keeps hitting people over the head saying, bottle. Stupid, right? Yeah, dumb joke. We did not stop laughing for hours all the way home. Yeah, it was coming back from Monmouth. For hours, we just kept playing that song over and over again. So, and I hadn't seen him in 40-something years, and then through a mutual friend of ours, Eddie Sessa tells me, I'm sitting here with a guy that says he knows you. He says, that you would know him as Joe Brooklyn. I said, yeah, Joe Pitty. Oh, he didn't think you remember his name. But you talk about we owned the business together and this and that, whatever. And so I sent him that song, the YouTube one, and then he knew it was me right away. So this is going to make him feel better. This is Sincerely by the Moonglows, and it's a good song. I like it. I do. Sing it, Joe Brooklyn. Sincerely, oh yes, sincerely, 'cause I love you so dearly. Please say you'll be mine. Sincerely, oh, you know how I love you. I'll do anything for you. Please say you'll be mine. Oh, love, won't you tell me why I love that girl so? She doesn't want me, but I'll never, 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 never let her go. Sincerely, oh, you know I love you. I'll do anything for you. Please say you'll be mine. Oh, love, won't you tell me why I love that girl so? Well, she doesn't want me, and I'll never, so dearly. Please say you'll be mine. Oh, say you'll be mine. Do it, do it, do. Bottle, bottle. The little things when you're hanging out with the right person. We were never afraid, as tough as we thought we were. And Joe Brooklyn, let me tell you, he's a tough dude. He was, still is. And but we are not afraid to be stupid. We are not afraid to be crazy. We were enjoying life. Bottle. So anyway, all right, so now we're coming up to the end. And if I could just find my notes, because I know I got them here somewhere. There wasn't much left. I don't know what happened to it. Are you kidding me? Something's burning, and I think it's alive. Give me a second. Here you go. I know it was here. Wow. Yeah, okay. Okay, now we're good. So, tonight at 8 o'clock, Mr. Fred Rubino, you know I talk about him all the time. He doesn't return the compliment. He doesn't tell everybody watch the Songfather Show, but you know what? That's okay. He steals a lot of my material. It's terrible. It's unbelievable. Half the things that he cooks on the show, he asked me for the recipe, and I emailed it to him, and then whatever. Okay, I'm kidding. But tonight, he's taking a challenge. I don't know, 6 months ago, maybe it was, he was challenged to see how many meatballs he could eat, and he ate 20 meatballs. 20 meatballs. I was like, wow, I could do that. No, I couldn't. And meanwhile, he stays this skinny, must be something to do with his swimming trunks. Something magical about them. But and so tonight he's going to eat 10 manicots, as he calls them. I call them manicotis, because that's how you're supposed to say it. Yeah, Brooklyn son of a... No. And they're the homemade ones. So go to his channel, not his fan page, but go to Get the Food Out of Here and watch how they made his wife Christine's recipe. How they made the homemade. Oh my God! But they're about this big, so that's a lot. And people don't think you can eat 10. I said, you know what you should do? You want to make a liar out of them? Cut them in half and eat 20. Then you'll show them. So I'm just waiting for it to sink into your head and then we'll see what happens. So that'll be tonight at 8 o'clock. You got the Songfather Show, of course, at 6, from 6 to 7. Then you get 7 to 8 to do a couple of things around the house, and maybe put the dishes away and, pet the dog and kiss your husband or kiss your wife, whatever you got to do. But you got to make sure that you're there to watch this because that's a lot. That's a lot. 10. I don't know. He said the most he ever ate at one sitting was 3, almost 4. But he said, but there was other food too I was eating. So, but he confided in me. He's a little nervous about trying to get 10 of them down. I said, all right. I said, what are you going to weigh? He goes, I don't know, it depends. Tino, nobody's even laughing. Oh, he's got a new trick. All right, she's cute. No. So, so don't forget, 8 o'clock tonight, Fred Rubino and Christine. She's going to be doing the filming and the cheering him on and everything else and making sure he doesn't cheat, So I'm sure she was busy today making him. He was, yesterday morning, was it? As he was in training for tonight's challenge, he ate potatoes and eggs that Mr. Ed couldn't have finished. It was unbelievable. So I don't know how he does. Some people have that. Some people have that metabolism. It's just amazing. And so I was saving this for last because I found it hysterical, and it's something that would happen to me, hands down, guaranteed. A Florida man took his Volkswagen Beetle, cut it up a little bit, cut the roof off and put a different cloth roof on top of it and everything else. And by the time he was done, it looked like the Flintstone Mobile. he did an unbelievable job. It looked exactly like the Flintstone mobile, from the bones on the side, and everything was great. He had on a Fred Flintstone, I don't want to say dress, but that thing that he wore, frock, barefoot, and a Fred Flintstone wig on, and he was driving around, and he got pulled over for speeding. I mean, how could that happen? It's just, to me, it's just ridiculous. No, not that the cop pulled him over, but if you're dressed like that and you got your car like that and there's no doors on it and everything else, and you're drawing a lot of attention to yourself, do you think maybe you would stay under the speed limit? So the cop pulled him over. Was hysterical, laughing. People were stopping and taking pictures, and the cop was going right along with it, posing with his book out like this, And he ended up letting him go, which was nice. But stop speeding, please. You're causing enough ruckus as it is. People stopping to get a look at you, And everything else was legal about the car, and just like a Jeep, you don't need to have doors on the car, and he had a seatbelt on and everything, but it was hysterical, and I could just imagine that cop, Was that Fred Flintstone that just went by? Hold on, woo woo! He squeezed the crow on top of the police car to make this. Yeah, I'm showing my age. All right, so the last song tonight on Doo Wop, DADDIO. Hey. DADDIO Doo Wop Day. DADDIO Doo Wop Day. Is blue moon. You saw me standing alone, without a tear in my eye, without a love of my own. That's not it. I think one of the iconic, like that word? No, that's not upstate New York. That's Peconic. Cut it out. I think one of the got to be in the top 10 iconic doo-wop songs from back in the 50s, called Shaboom. So many people did it, and not just doo-wop guys. It crossed over into soul. It crossed over into rock and roll. It crossed over into the easy listening thing, and so many of the people had it. And every one of them is a little different than the one before, which is unusual for a cover. Most people will cover a song and they'll sing it like it was made, but each group had their own little thing. So, this is Shaboom. Shaboom, Shaboom, Shaboom. This one by the Crew Cuts. I love it. A-ding-dang, a-dang, a-dang, ba-doom, ba-doom. Oh, life could be a dream if I could take you up in paradise up above. If you would tell me I'm the only one that you love, life could be a dream, sweetheart.
Hello again. Shaboom, and hoping we'll meet again.
Oh, life could be a dream if only all my precious plans would come true. If you would let me spend my whole life loving you, life would be a dream, sweetheart. Now every time I look at you, something is on my mind. If you do what I want you to, baby, we'd be so fine. Oh, life could be a dream if I could take you up in paradise up above. You would tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Shaboom, shaboom. Shaboom, shaboom. Shaboom, shaboom. Shaboom, shaboom. Shaboom, shaboom. Shaboom, shaboom. Every time I look at you, something is on my mind. And if you do what I want you to, baby, we'd be so fine. Oh, life could be a dream if I could take you up in paradise up above. And you would tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart.
Hello again. Shaboom, and hoping we'll meet again. Boom, shaboom.
A-da-da-ding-dang, a-lang-a-da-dang-a-da-dang-a-da-dang-a-da-dang. Oh, zip, Ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-dee-boo. Life could be a dream. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Oh, life could be a dream. If only all my precious plans would come true. If you would let me spend my whole life loving you, life could be a dream, sweetheart. Shaboom, shaboom. Doo-dee-doo, shaboom, shaboom. Doo-dee-doo, shaboom, shaboom. Sweetheart. Bam. Daddio Doo Wop Day is done. That was fun. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it. Tino must have enjoyed. Yep. Yeah, wow. He was dancing with himself in the mirror. Friggin' weirdo. So he'll be here tomorrow. Everybody relax. Don't call the ASPCA or the Audubon Society. Yeah, you didn't think I'm not just a pretty face. Pretty face. I'm smart. I can do things. I was stepped over, Michael. Daddy, I'm losing it, Dad. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the show today. I think we did pretty good with the time. We got some good Doo Wopo songs in it. Wopo? What'd you call me, a Wopo? Huh? So like I said, don't forget, 8 o'clock, Fred Rubino. You got to watch this man make a total cafone out of himself. 10 manicotis. And what do you say? And some sparkling white wine to go with it. You better have 2 bottles before. And so I love you guys. Thank you again. Good to be back. And tomorrow up here in the island of Long, at least, and pretty much in the whole Northeast. The Yankees won, excuse me. Some really heavy storms coming through. Boom, they say big, heavy, torrential rain, heavy winds, possible hail, this and that. Don't forget about it. Dorothy, Toto, everybody's coming. So everybody be safe. Know what to do. Prepare beforehand. If I was you right now, I'd go to the store, buy up all the milk and bread you can buy right now. Put some, freeze it for the winter when the snowstorm comes, whatever you got to do. Put Vic DiBenedetto out of business. So, all right, guys. So have a good night. I love you. Thank you. Keep sharing, please. Share. Get it out there. Let's get the word out there because it's time. I put about 6 more songs on the Songfather radio station. That's WSNG 122.2 on live radio, LYV. Just go to www.allcapsthesongfathershow.com and enjoy. Try to do it on your laptop, by the way, because I'm finding through some complaints, but also myself, that when you're doing it on the phone, you lose the signal once in a while. And it could be right in the middle of a song that you like, and then by the time it comes back on, so I don't know how they're going to fix that. I don't know if it's their problem or if it's a Wi-Fi problem universally or it's the federal agents about to come in through the front door. I don't know. We'll see. But so have a good night, everybody. See you tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Watch party at 6 o'clock tonight, which you are watching right now through the magic of this, whatever you want to call it. It's 6 o'clock, and I'm talking to you, but I didn't do it at 6 o'clock. I did it at 4 o'clock, but now it's 6 o'clock, and we're watching it together and talking. It's amazing. Goodbye. Bam. You thought I was going to forget. I don't forget. Never. Tina says goodbye.